All right, guys, welcome back to episode 3 of the Bricks and Bots pod. As we touched on last week, we're going to get a little more specific on what we're dealing with each week. So this week we're diving into the seller CMA. So if you're an agent, you want to learn how to cut a ton of work time off of your weekly schedule, keep tuned and we'll show you.
And I mean, like, you say a ton of time, like, I mean, quite literally, a ton of time off these things. It's absolutely crazy how, and we're going to be talking Claude specific here. Whereas this kind of progresses, it's obviously going to be a lot more Claude facing, but what it can actually do, and especially with these low, medium, high ranges that it's kind of dabbling into, is absolutely insane. So I think you guys are really going to like this one. And again, saving time in this business and what we do is crucial. So
yeah. All right. So this week we're diving into seller CMA email. So what you're asking Claude to do essentially here is you're providing it with all the data that you need from whichever MLS system you're using, Matrix or Realm. And then you're asking it to interpret that data in the same way that you would if you were to just hit the generate report button on your MLS.
It's essentially it's a quick 3-up, but for a lot of these clients, because it's not coming for your specific email, or if they're looking for a home, they're searching on realtor.ca. Every single agent is sending them the auto emails with the solds, the actives, whatever that may include. And so this is just a little thing to separate yourself, go above and beyond. It also, when you send these emails, it makes it look like you actually spent the time and wrote it yourself, right? And of course, throwing their name in there, hey, this is close to your subject property. And that's what I love about these specifically is the biggest time consuming thing of this specific seller CMA is typing in the different address for each client. And that's it.
Yeah.
Right?
Honestly, all you're doing is setting the terms. If you know that you want to compare a 3-bed, 3-bath detached home around this area, you're going to open Matrix, you're going to type in the address, you're going to set yourself a range, or you can draw out the map. I usually just use a half kilometer to a kilometer range.
I find that's best in all honesty, because people, especially like if you have a client that's obviously looking for a very specific property, obviously you're going to set that up within specific terms. But this is a very, I would say, early stage type of seller CMA email. Somebody who clicked one of your listings on realtor.ca said, we're casually browsing right now. Seems to be a wonderful term everybody uses.
Someone you met through an open house and they're talking about selling, but maybe they're like 6 months or a year out, but you want to not only follow up with them, but follow up with some real intention, give some actual value to them, rather than the generic, hey, look at what's sold in your area, you figure out the numbers yourself.
Exactly. And if you just do the, hey John, it's Friday, checking in again, right?
The dreaded words, checking in.
Yeah. Just seeing how things are going. Everybody knows, right? We're not checking in. You're seeing if they want to sell you. That's every real estate agent's problem. So honestly, I found that when it pops up in your follow-up box, your command, whatever CRM you may use, stay away from the words checking in. And it's actually part of my follow-ups have actually just become sending this email. Oh, absolutely. Right? Like I don't even call or text them. It's just they expect these emails now, right?
It's such an easy touch point. It provides real value to them. It gives them information that they're not getting elsewhere. Because let's say there's someone who spends a lot of time on realtor.ca, a lot of time on House Sigma. Even if they're looking at the solds, they're not getting the most recent, they're not getting averages, they're not getting property specific. They're just going, well, my neighbor's house sold for this. Well, does your neighbor's house have the same square footage? Does it have the same number of beds? Does it have the same number of baths? You can even go through and fine tune it as they get a little bit more specific and say, well, I'm going to go through and narrow this down and remove anything that is, very old, very outdated, something that has the same finishes as theirs.
Of course, yeah. And when you type that stuff in the matrix, you can narrow that down very, very specifically. But if we're doing a casually browsing 6 to 12 months out, keep it very general, because most of these people, everybody wants to know what the real estate market is doing right now. Like, if you're out at lunch, if you're out at the gym, like, the moment I tell people I'm a real estate agent, oh, have you seen this property? Oh, what's this going for?
What's the market doing? It seems really odd this spring. Yep. Here's why. Do you actually want to know more about what's happening in your neighborhood or just in general?
Exactly.
You could do either.
And you can send obviously, like a lot of team-specific agents, you can send a very generic, set them up on a quick auto search, and people get bored of these things, right? It's human psychology. People are nosy, right? If they live at 131, they want to know what 135 is going for. The moment that property is listed, they want to know what Bill down the street has done to his house, right? Because that's the obvious most comparable here. Right, if Bill sold for $1.5 million, right? Then maybe I can get $1.5 million out of this, right?
And they want to know how it affects them. If they're even thinking about selling in the next couple of years, how does it affect them? And this ultimately answers that question for them.
Exactly.
So you want to jump into the specifics of how we set this up?
So the first thing to start out would obviously be the prompt. Like we touched on last week, the prompt is very, very important here. And from last week, touching in how to prompt, how to actually what to type into your prompts here. This prompt is going to be a little bit different because it'll include a status key. Right. And that status key is something that you're actually going to have to input yourself. And it's not difficult, but obviously on Matrix Realm, you're going to see your closed, your pendings, your expired, your suspended. And all your status key is going to say is C for closed, P for pending,
A for active,
X for expired, right? Once you type that in, now, I think we may be getting a little bit ahead here, but if you create a project on Claude, you won't have to input this every time.
Right.
Again, episode 3, we'll get into projects a little bit later.
Yeah, that'll be a while.
It makes your life easier, essentially. That's all it is.
Stay tuned for that. But for this week, the thing you want to know is, first you're going to set your parameters, so your input data. What are you actually bringing to it? If you can't do this, please learn how to do this, because this has nothing to do with Claude. This is just being an agent in general.
Exactly.
Open Matrix, open a search. Set the address that you're looking for. There's an address field right up in the top. I'm probably going to, in this edit, throw some little screenshots here about what you're looking for. So put the address field in, put the radius in, set the number of beds, the number of baths, garage, parking, whether it's detached, townhome. Set your subject property parameters, and then grab all the actives, pendings, solds, expireds, canceled in the area that you've set, and then that's your input source. That's your data that you're feeding Claude.
And you can literally copy and paste this right off of Matrix or Realm. Now, if your clients are getting this wanted on a weekly basis, obviously you're going to send a 0 to 7 date range, right? Or set a 0 to 7 date range. If your clients are getting it bi-weekly, you're going to put a 0 to 14 date range, right? If you don't specify the date range and you click everything from active all the way down to suspended, your sellers are going to be getting a 230 property email, and you are going to lose credibility very, very quickly.
Also, Claude is going to have a fit deciphering 200 plus properties and running the averages on those. So, please set your date range according to your intention. Are you sending them weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, quarterly? I wouldn't go more than quarterly.
No, there's no point in that. And especially with the market right now, especially how many listings are popping up, it's just going to overwhelm clients. And the biggest thing here is to provide them value and know what you're actually talking about. Also, what you just touched on, going back with the, the actual intention of the email.
Yes.
Put into the prompt that you want it to. What does this mean for the market? What does this mean for my client's property? right? Will this increase the sale? Will this increase the price, right? And also you touching on saying that it's about the beds and baths. You can do a general range for these things too. It doesn't have to be, if your client's is a 3-bed, 3-bath, you don't have to type that in. You can also put dashes into beds and bath, which a lot of people don't realize on Matrix, right? 2 to 4.
Or plus or minus.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly, right? And give these people a general range, a wide range. Of course, once you get to the point where, you know, they're hot clients, as most real estate agents call them, you know, 90 days out or anything like that, then you can start tailoring it down to very, very specific needs.
Right.
Again, these are more general. I tend to, once clients are in that hot stage, I tend to do a very, very specific search on Matrix, or I actually deep dive in myself. Because this is the point where you've already set your credibility, right? You've already provided them value. They already are hopefully working with you at this point, right? And clients that are active clients, give them a little bit more time, right? Give them some more front-facing material for their property, right?
Ultimately, you have to think about this as like tailored marketing material.
Exactly.
But ultimately, it's marketing material. Please don't use Claude CMA and go, hey, I haven't double checked this, we're gonna list at this price. Terrible. However, it's pretty good at pulling averages. It's pretty good at understanding the context, especially once you set that context key of your actives versus your expireds versus your solds, why the expireds are so much higher, why they didn't sell.
Yeah, exactly.
But when you're actually getting down to it, make sure you're double checking things, make sure you're doing yourself, make sure that Claude is producing accurate numbers. But once you are comfortable with that and you have the base prompt and you have the key and you have the set input data, you can pretty much autopilot this.
Exactly.
You can run, I mean, how many are we doing? Like 15
I
a
do
week anyway?
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, I do probably about 15 to 20. I've recently narrowed down because I was like last week or the week before, I was doing upwards of like 35. And then you realize, like even we said in 20 minutes ago in the team meeting that all clients don't need this level of attention, right? Some people almost don't even want it, right?
Yeah, like, if they're not numbers people, if they don't care about the specifics and they're more like, what are you going to do for me? What is the service provided? What's included within your commission? Well, then this really isn't answering any of their questions, so it's not going to help with any objections when you sit down at the table with them.
Exactly.
This is for like your type A's who really like digging into the numbers, who really want just information. They don't care about the relationship all that much, or this is how you build it. They don't want to hear your voice 24/7. They just want the info, and because you're the person providing it, they're ready to go.
Exactly, and these clients are the type that will call you when something pops up. But also saying that, nonetheless, throw in a CTA at the end of these emails, right? If you want to know what this means for you specifically or your property, happy to sit down and have a coffee with you. Give me a shout, shoot me a text, right? Always add that in. And so I run this on Sonnet Medium, right? I've pretty much upgraded to all my chats to medium now. You can go low, medium, or high. Gives you a little bit more information. The higher you go, obviously more token usage you're going to use. Claude will actually give you 2 specific emails in 2 tailored kind of languages or tones for specific clients. So it'll give you 2 right then and there, you know. Information facing, like you just said, numbers people, straight to the point, right? No emojis that it's throwing in. Numbers, what this means for your property, right?
Nicely formatted.
Exactly.
Charts, like everything is there so that it's just a quick, brief read. They get the idea and they're ready to move on.
Of course, and also to add another level of credibility, Steve was actually dabbling around with this morning and was showing me you can put these all into a PDF that you can actually send into the email. Now, again, a lot of my clients that are on this, like the 5-minute quick read, they don't care. But if you want to add that little
it's just an extra touch. If they're the kind of person who's you know is going to sit down there, like the person I was sending it to, is the kind of person who he's an older guy. He's going to open the email on his desktop. He's not looking at this on his phone. He's going to sit there and read through everything. And he does, respond and ask questions because this is what he wants.
It looks nice.
It looks nice, and that's about it. But ultimately, you're getting the same information that you were before.
Exactly.
So that covers the majority of how this works. So do you want to kind of go from the top, like just a quick rundown of how this works? And then we'll also provide, linked in the comments, the basic CMA prompt. And then you guys will be able to kind of play with it for your specific needs.
So yeah, I think providing just a base level prompt for everybody, and of course, like this, guys, practice this. This is like learning to ride a bike, learning how to skate, right?
Yep.
This is not something that we figured out because we sat down 2 hours ago, right? I know myself, I sit and probably for an hour or two every single night, I try to mess with this thing and give it the hardest challenges possible. I know you're the same, right? What can I put this thing to and stretch the limits? So from the top, obviously, find your clients that want this seller CMA, right? You're not just gonna be sending this out to every single person in your database. Next, the prompt that we give you, put that in, right? Change it how you would like, right? Obviously, if you want this to include just active solds or pendings, you can, right? Like the options for this are endless. Next would be
the subject data. So whatever address you're centering it around, and this could be used for a buyer CMA, could be used for a seller CMA.
Anyway.
But ultimately, you pick the address, you go into Matrix or Realm, you set the beds, the baths, the type of home, until you feel, and you can tweak that search until you feel comfortable that it is relevant to the subject property. Then once you have the results, you hit that View Results tab, and you have the big page, the single line display of all the properties. You're going to drag from the bottom right all the way up to the top left, grab all that information, copy it, go into Claude, paste that information right underneath that prompt with all the subject key, and then
there you go.
Tell it to go at it. And then if you need it fine-tuned, or if you want it to ask more questions, just add that at the base of the prompt. Ask me any other questions that might be relevant to produce better value for the client.
Just like our interview.
Exactly.
Like prompt when we were talking about crit. Like, give this thing proper feedback, guys. Ask me one question at a time, up to 5 questions to gain deeper context. If you want to do this for a very specific client, you can even go above and beyond and give a little client profile, where you met them, where the lead source was, what they're looking for, what their ultimate game plan is, right? Then it will tailor it very specifically to that client. Now, the goal of this is to obviously save time. I wouldn't go that in depth with every single client. No. And guys, this is a thing that you can also, like Steve just said, copy and paste right off of the matrix itself. Like when you scroll over and view results, you can copy and paste right from there, right? And it'll also go in, DOM, days on market. It'll give you absolutely everything, compare square footage, right? It'll come down, homes in this range are selling, homes in this range are selling. What this means for sellers, what this means for buyers, what this means for you specifically. And that's what it comes down to in putting in the proper data that you actually want to give your client.
And I say that the last thing is just give it a read over. Make sure that it is correct. Always double check. And while this sounds like a lot of steps, while it might sound like a lot of work, compare this to preparing your own CMA, then preparing your own email that is specific to the type of client, specific to the neighborhood. You're still saving yourself probably 20-25 minutes per CMA.
Of course.
And if you're able to deliver something of value to each client and save yourself a bunch of time, well, more time for prospecting.
And this is just, it's another touch point, guys, because like we said in the beginning, it's everybody who started even from the 12-month out, the casually browsing, is they've gone to multiple open houses. This is something to set yourself apart from every other agent and ultimately provide value without the just checking in, right? Or just, hey, how are you doing, right?
How was your week?
Like, exactly. Like, of course, like certain clients need that. This is obviously very client specific, right? And if you have a client with certain needs, right? Like if you have a client who's a bit older, right? Doesn't like the PDFs, doesn't like the colorful, literally copy and paste the Claude text and just send the email like that. Hey, Joe, weekly seller. Like that's it. That's all this takes, right? And the majority of the time for this prompt specifically is typing in the different addresses and copy and pasting. Right? That's it, right? Now, is this a bit tedious work? Of course, but again, you can do this in 20, 25 minutes for 15 to 20 clients, and
easily.
It's super quick, right? And that's pretty much it for today. Right?
Yeah, honestly, that covers everything. It's a great little prompt. Like we said, we'll link the copy to the basic prompt below. So if you have any questions, guys, comment, DM us. We'll help walk you through it. But ultimately, this is a great little tool, huge time saver.
Of course.
And I'm sure you guys will get used to it quickly and find a lot of use out of it.
Just practice, guys. Just practice. Like, it's set a little reminder, 7 p.m. every single night. Hopefully you're not out doing showings. We've all been there. But sit in front of it while you're watching your favorite show. Play around with it, right? Like, that's how you get better at these things. There is thousands of different videos on YouTube about how to actually dive into this and get it better. And of course, like we've stated in both previous episodes, ask it. Ask it how you can give it better information and how it can do better, right? Obviously, you're going to get better results by upping the high, medium, or low usage, right? The whole thing with Opus or Mythos that just happened. Wild. Couldn't wait to use that. Didn't even last 24 hours, but that is a whole nother topic.
Oh yeah, that'll be its own extra episode of just why government interference in AI is gonna just kill any competitiveness at all.
Yeah, we're talking about a seller CMA here, guys, not national security. So
anyway, so thanks for watching, guys. I hope you got some use out of this, and as always, subscribe for more. Follow us on Instagram for the short form versions, and reach out to us if you have any questions.
Of course, guys. And again, hope you enjoyed, like Steve said, and all the best. We'll see you guys next week.
Yep, see you next week, guys.